When I look at the circumstances of many of the brothers imprisoned at Guantanamo, I cannot help but to thank Allah that He didn't test me the way He tested many of them.
أخي صبرا على ألم الفراق.
One of them was Adil al-Jazzar from Egypt. Adil was an accountant by trade in his country and in Saudi Arabia. He went on to work for the Saudi Red Crescent in Pakistan, helping the Afghan refugees fleeing war after the US invasion. One day, the refugee camp he was helping in was bombed by the US. Adil got badly injured, his leg shattered by shrapnel. He spent several weeks in hospital, but the doctors were confident they could save his leg. But suddenly he was transferred to US custody and handed over as part of the renditions program. Everything changed. Like all of us, he was beaten, bound to a plane seat, stripped naked, and left in the cold for 24 hours. But he was suffering from a huge open wound. When he arrived in Guantanamo, the American doctor told him his leg had to be amputated. Of course, he refused. The doctors in Pakistan had been due to operate on him the day before the Americans took him. He knew his leg could have been saved. After that, he would be left in this cell with this open wound for a very long time. They would refuse to clean it or to change the dressing. The pain, he said, was excruciating. One day, a doctor came and told him, "I will give you the medication and your pain will be gone within 10 minutes. But first, you need to sign a confession." Adil told him he couldn't confess to a lie. The doctor simply put the medication in his pocket and walked off. In time, his leg became more and more infected. Brothers advised him that now it was clear his leg could not be saved anymore, so he accepted to have his leg amputated. In the beginning, the loss of his limb was very difficult to accept, but his faith allowed him to overcome the sorrow. When I met him, I asked him what was the most memorable part of his experience. He replied with something that shocked me. "The most beautiful days, actually, I don't know if you will believe me, but the whole 8 years was a very nice time. It was real. If I had the choice to go back to Guantanamo, I'd go. It is really a big experience for me. First, I learned more about myself, both good and bad. Before Guantanamo, I did not recognize this. I was able to rebuild myself again there. I was very close to Allah and able to memorize the whole Quran in 27 days. Adil had a beautiful quality. He was very optimistic. He turned a nightmare into a positive and transformative experience. After 8 years, he was finally released, but not to his family, but to a place in Slovakia, in a country where he knew no one and where there were very few Muslims. He was in a tiny town up in the north. That's where I met him. I saw that despite the loneliness, he retained his optimism. As I always do, I asked him to give me some advice. And this is what he said. Look at things from an optimistic point of view, not a pessimistic one. Look at it like a test from Allah to see how patient you are, and just remain close to Allah, as He is the only one who can get you through this all the way to the finish and protect you. If you are going through hardships, read the Quran, fast, pray, and remain faithful. As long as your heart is free, they can arrest your body, but they can never take your soul.
أخي صبرا على ألم الفراق.